The police report said everything was normal. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. No evidence. But the Ring doorbell saw something they didn't. It was 3:17 a.m. when the motion alert pinged on the screen. A faint shadow appeared at the edge of the frame, not walking, not running, just standing there. The porch light flickered once, and when it steadied again, the figure had moved closer. No sound. No footsteps. Just the hollow static of the camera trying to focus. Then, in a single flash, the face came into view, pale, almost stretched, with eyes that didn't blink. And then the screen went black. When the footage resumed a few seconds later, the camera showed the front door slowly creaking open from the inside, even though no one was home. That was the footage the police never saw. 4 hours later, when Emily Carter returned home from her night shift at the diner, everything in her small Ohio house looked perfectly fine, except her Ring app kept crashing every time she tried to view last night's clip. She thought it was a glitch. The police, when she called them, thought it was a prank. But that night, the same shadow appeared again. Now, before we get to that, here's how it all started. Emily had bought the house 6 months earlier, a small 2-bedroom place on the edge of town. She was a nurse's aide by day and a waitress by night, saving to go back to school. The neighborhood was quiet, mostly older folks who minded their business. She liked that. She also liked her Ring doorbell, mostly because it made her feel safe after a few strange noises she'd heard the first week she moved in. It started small, her porch light turning off by itself, muffled knocks on the door when no one was outside, her dog barking at the hallway at night. The police came twice but found nothing. Her friends teased her that it was probably raccoons. Then one morning she woke up to find muddy handprints on her front door, small child-sized prints that smeared downward like someone had been clawing to get in. That was the day she upgraded her Ring system to record in night vision. The first few nights, the footage showed nothing but stray cats, delivery trucks, and the occasional passing car. But one Thursday around 2 a.m. she noticed something different. A figure standing across the street facing her house. The shape didn't move. It just stood there for hours. When she zoomed in, it almost looked like it was wearing her missing hoodie. By the next morning, the figure was gone. The police checked the area, found no footprints, no evidence, nothing. Then 2 nights later, her doorbell rang. Once, twice, 3 times. She looked through the live feed, but no one was there. Just empty porch steps glowing in the blue light of the camera. And then she heard it. A whisper. Not from the phone. From the door itself. It said her name. She froze. Slowly turned off the feed. The whisper stopped. For a moment, she thought she'd imagined it, until her phone buzzed again with a notification. Motion detected at your front door. Her hands shook as she clicked it open. The feed flickered, static filling the screen, and there, right at the edge of the frame, was a pale face pressed against the camera lens, smiling. The same pale face the police said didn't exist. Emily couldn't breathe. The pale face on her Ring camera filled the entire screen, hollow eyes staring right into the lens, a grin so wide it looked painful. The figure didn't move, didn't speak. Just watched. Then the feed cut to black again. She called the police immediately. 2 officers arrived within 10 minutes, Officer Reynolds and Officer Blake. They walked around the property, checked the porch, the windows, even the backyard. No signs of anyone being here, Reynolds said, writing in his notepad. Could be a prank, ma'am. Maybe kids messing with your camera. Emily showed them the footage, but when she opened the app, the video had been replaced by a gray screen that said, "File corrupted." Both officers exchanged a look that said they didn't believe her. They left after reassuring her that it was nothing to worry about. But she knew what she saw. That night, Emily stayed up, determined to catch whatever was happening. She brewed a pot of coffee, sat by the living room window with the Ring feed open on her phone. For hours, nothing. Just the hum of crickets and the distant sound of cars. Then, at 3:17 a.m., the motion alert buzzed again. Her heart pounded as she tapped the notification. The video loaded, and there it was. The same figure standing on her porch. This time, it was facing away from the door, staring into the yard like it was guarding the house. The street light behind it flickered, and Emily could see its outline more clearly. Tall, thin, shoulders bent at strange angles, its arms too long to be normal. She tried to call 911, but before she could, the screen shifted. The figure turned its head all the way around. The image glitched, breaking into static. Then the figure vanished. A knock came from the door. Not loud, just 3 slow, steady knocks. Emily froze in place. The camera showed no one there. Another knock. And then, a whisper, soft and clear. Emily. Her name. Again. She couldn't move. Her breath came out shallow. Her phone screen glitched again, and suddenly the feed showed inside her living room. Not the porch, not the outside, inside. The camera had never been moved, yet somehow it was showing her sofa, her coffee mug, her. She dropped the phone, grabbed her car keys, and ran outside barefoot. The street was silent. Her porch light flickered weakly. No one was there. By the time the police arrived again, she was shaking. Officer Blake searched the footage once more but found nothing unusual. "Maybe it's a tech issue," he said. "Those things happen sometimes." But later that day, while scrolling through the Ring neighborhood feed, Emily saw something that made her stomach drop. Her neighbor, 2 houses down, had posted a video warning others about a strange figure wandering around at night. The clip looked almost identical, except this time the figure wasn't outside the neighbor's house. It was inside their living room, standing in the corner, staring directly at the camera until the feed cut out. That same night, Emily's phone buzzed again. Motion detected. When she opened the app, her front door was wide open, and standing right inside her hallway was the figure, still silent, watching the camera. Suddenly, the figure lifted its hand and waved. The screen went black. Emily didn't sleep that night. She couldn't. Every creak of the house made her heart jump. Every shadow looked alive. The last image from the Ring feed, the figure waving at the camera, burned into her mind like a brand she couldn't erase. At sunrise, she packed a small bag and drove to her sister's house on the other side of town. "It's your mind playing tricks on you," her sister Megan said after hearing the story. "You've been working too much. Get some rest." But Emily wasn't convinced. That night, while sitting on the couch, Megan's phone buzzed. She frowned. "That's weird," she said. "Someone rang your doorbell." Emily froze. She hadn't brought her Ring doorbell with her. It was still mounted on her house. Megan turned the phone toward her. On the live feed, Emily's front porch came into view. The camera had automatically shared to her linked account. The video was live. Someone was standing on Emily's porch again. But this time it wasn't the same figure. It was Emily. Same clothes. Same posture. Same nervous look on her face. She was staring directly into the camera, eyes wide, mouth slightly open as if about to speak. Megan laughed nervously. "Okay, this has to be a glitch, right?" Emily's skin went cold. "That's not me," she whispered. The fake Emily on screen suddenly tilted her head. The movement was jerky, unnatural, like an old VHS tape skipping frames. Then she raised her hand and pressed her finger against the lens, just like the figure had done. The video cut off. Megan blinked. "Emily, what was that?" Before Emily could respond, her phone lit up too. A new alert. Motion detected inside your living room. Her heart stopped. She tapped the notification, and the feed showed her living room again. But this time, the furniture was slightly rearranged, like someone had been moving things around. The shadow of a person passed by the hallway, slow and calm. Emily whispered, "That's my house." And then, from behind them in Megan's living room, they heard it, a faint, familiar chime. The Ring notification sound. But it wasn't coming from their phones. It was coming from the front door. Both sisters turned their heads slowly toward the sound. Through the glass panels beside the door, they could see a shape, tall, still, and too close. The porch light flickered, casting thin shadows across its face. It wasn't a man. It wasn't a woman. It was something in between, pale and twisted, its neck bent as if it couldn't hold its own head straight. Megan grabbed her phone and whispered, "I'm calling the police." The moment she said it, the doorbell rang. Once, twice, then again faster. Ding, 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 ding. Emily's phone buzzed. A new alert. Motion detected, front door. The feed showed the door. But from the inside, the figure was standing in the hallway again. Her sister gasped, "How? How can it be inside already?" The camera glitched. The timestamp flickered from 3:17 a.m. to live. The pale figure turned its head toward the lens, smiled, and whispered something, a sound that wasn't a word, just a low rasp. Then the camera shook violently. The feed went black. When police arrived 10 minutes later, the front door was wide open. The living room lights were flickering. But there was no one inside. Emily's phone was found on the floor, still recording. The Ring footage uploaded itself automatically to the cloud. The final frame showed the figure standing on the porch, watching as the patrol car pulled up, its reflection faintly visible in the cruiser's headlights. The police never saw the face clearly, but the Ring camera did, and it was smiling.